I tried everything I could try. She said I shouldn't go straight to PhD. So I studied really hard and got a 4.1 GPA. Hi everyone, I'm Nicole. I'm a 24-year-old fourth-year psychology PhD student under full scholarship in one of Singapore's government universities. I don't need to pay for tuition and I get monthly stipends that are enough to pay for my rent, my day-to-day spendings, and also to a certain degree my savings. Every time people hear about what I do, I get a lot of questions that revolve around the same theme, like why did I choose this life and how did I get here? I thought that I would make a video. Why not? I'm Indonesian. I took a full path of Indonesian education up until high school. And then after that, actually, my parents wanted to send me abroad. So my first option at the time was Australia, but it was really, really far from home. We found that Murdoch University, they have a branch in Singapore in which you can do half of your program in Singapore and then half in Australia. So when I was already in the program, COVID hit during the time that I was supposed to go to Australia to continue the second half of my study. And prior to that, my family had a hit in our finance as well. Our major source of income was pretty much destroyed because of a very bad earthquake in my hometown. Losing that pillar was like a ground-shaking experience for like a 18-year-old. I decided there and then to really restructure my life. So I studied really hard and got a 4.1 GPA. And at the time, I knew I loved psychology, but do I love psychology enough to do it for the rest of my life? To figure that out, I decided to join internship, which was not allowed because I was in a private education in Singapore. Then I would email companies and tell them that I'm willing to do like an unpaid internship or like volunteer. So I volunteered in a lot of places. I became like a mental health buddy. I worked with the elderly. I was also in clinical psych. I did a lot of things outside of psychology as well. Like I did marketing, I did project management, theater. I did everything that I could possibly be interested in. From that experience, I realized that more than anything, I love psychology. But throughout my different like psychology volunteer experiences, I noticed that I actually liked working with data. I was working or again unpaid for a professor in Murdoch. I was her research assistant, I believe, up until I entered a PhD. When I finished my undergraduate, I worked for another year in research. I was working under a few professors. I worked on different projects in different fields of psychology as well. From there, I also noticed that I actually loved evolutionary psychology the most, which is what I'm pursuing right now. So by the time I was 21, I think applying for the PhD, I already had connections. I already had experience in research. The professor that I was working on in Murdoch was a student of the professor that I'm working with right now in my school. When I applied to the school, I had to give like a recommendation letter, and she actually wrote one for me. Definitely opened the door for me to enter. I think the whole journey made me really sure the prof that I was working with. She said I shouldn't go straight to PhD. I should understand whether research is really what I wanted by like working for at least a year before I entered PhD, which is exactly what I did. Knowing that I went through everything first, like I tried everything I could try, even outside of psychology, and then having that 1 year of research experience, knowing that I loved it before I entered the PhD and like learning even more about it, I never had that room for regret now, because I knew that I didn't like marketing, I didn't like project management, I didn't like other parts of psychology. I just liked research. So no matter how difficult research is right now, I knew that if I chose any other path, it would be worse. Okay, so that is everything I have about my journey before I started my PhD and how I got here. If anyone is watching and is interested in other things, let me know. You can always ask me any questions. Hopefully this can be helpful or can be informative for people who are trying to get into the same path or are just interested about postgraduate life. Bye bye.